C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. We know the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squad's the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning. Love being with you here every day. Good morning, Blake. What's up, man? What's up? Man, you know, it's hard to stay positive, but we got to keep our heads up. The season's still early. This team has struggled. It's very, very, very depressing. I expected more from this team. Maybe I shouldn't have because, you know, the writing was on the wall with the holes that we had on this football team. Oh, but yeah. So anyway, Darren Waller, images, video clips have surfaced. He's practicing finally. The replacement for Jonnu Smith. Listen, Darren Waller, we traded for Darren Waller was retired with the New York Giants. He was retired. We traded for Darren Waller to help ease the pain of trading away Jonnu Smith. Jonnu wanted a new contract. Miami wasn't willing to give him his new contract. Jonnu had a fantastic season here for Miami last year. Mike McDaniel's system is very tight end friendly. We've seen from this front office that they're very cocky and confident about their abilities to plug any player in and just be able to move forward. Not that they take very little. What's the word I'm looking for? They're confident in their abilities to stick a player in and get similar results no matter who the player is. Right? So they feel like this tight end, any tight end can do what Jonnu did for the Miami Dolphins last year. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. Jonnu Smith, I feel like, has a uh very particular skill set that not every tight end has. And I don't think Darren Waller has that skill set that Jonnu has. So the Miami Dolphins are going to have to use him differently, in my opinion. But we're finally going to hopefully see Darren Waller, hopefully early as Monday. And the question I pose to you is, can Darren Waller help Tua get back on the right track? Because I think Tua has shown this year that he's very antsy in the pocket, right? Whether it's a combination of not having the security blanket that he had in Jonnu Smith last year, whether he knows that the right side of the line is absolutely in shambles. So can Darren Waller give Tua Tagovailoa that sense of security that he has a place to dump the ball off to on a regular basis, a player that he knows where he's going to be at all times and can help him when he gets in trouble? What up, Michael, Raphael, Shauno? What up? What up? What up? Blake, I said, what's up? Bonnie did message me last night. Glad to hear she's all right. She's on vacation. She said she needed a little break from the Fins, and I get that. I definitely get that. Darren Waller coming back is another smoke screen from the franchise. Shake my head. I mean, I don't know if it's a smoke screen, but, Miller, yo, what up, Big C? You got to stop with the clickbait. Waller will be lucky to play more than 20 snaps. He's a shell of his former self. Well, I see where you. First off, I'm not clickbaiting. I don't do the clickbait thing. I don't say, "Wow, breaking news." I'm asking a legit question. Now, does Darren Waller maybe play 20 snaps his first game? But I mean, Miller, you're getting your information from Dolphin Collective, and they knew very little about what Darren Waller's going to do. Because I heard the same 20 snap prediction for Darren Waller. And yeah, his first week, he probably sees 20 snaps. But obviously, I'm not talking about a one-game situation. I'm not talking about a one-game situation. We should have traded for a competent tight end like Kmet or Mark Andrews. I'm not disagreeing there. Mark Andrews quietly has put together a Hall of Fame career, right? Cole Kmet has great upside, in my opinion. What up, Irving? Timothy, what's up? But I think Darren Waller can provide that security blanket for Tua Tagovailoa. I think he can help this football team. If you look at what Tua did with the tight end last year, Jonnu Smith had a career year. I think we targeted Jonnu 111 times last year. He had 88 catches, 884 yards, 10 yards a catch for 8 touchdowns. Now, don't get it twisted. Darren Waller and Jonnu Smith are not the same type of player. Yes, they're both athletically gifted. Both have good speed. But Darren Waller isn't known for that yak. You know what I mean? Jonnu Smith was known for getting those small passes and being able his ability to run after the catch was phenomenal. One of the best in the whole league. Darren Waller is more of he's got a better ability of getting open downfield. So I don't think it's going to help as much as what bringing Jonnu Smith back would have. And plus, obviously, Jonnu and Tua had chemistry together. So I don't think it's going to have that type of impact, but I think Darren Waller can definitely help the Miami Dolphins. I think, listen, Miller, I think Frank Smith, him being, Darren Waller had the most success of his career under Frank Smith. Frank Smith is a coach on the Miami Dolphins. I think Frank Smith knows how to use Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller will contribute. I don't think he will have the effect of a Jonnu Smith on this football team. But I do think he's another weapon. I do think it's another weapon. But nothing's going to help this football team if Tua continues to play scared and can't get comfortable in the pocket. I don't think the game passes. He's an athlete. I don't think the game passes. I don't think the game has passed Darren Waller by. He retired 1 year. I mean, he was halfway productive his last year with the New York Giants. His last year with the Giants, he had 52 catches, 552 yards, and a touchdown, which aren't bad tight end numbers. What up, Bonnie? Good morning, Bonnie. Glad to see you back. Cap, what up? Tua's trash. What up? What up? What up? Make sure you hit them like buttons for me. Hit them up, hit them up, hit them up. But yeah, I don't think Darren Waller is going to come in and save the season. I don't think he's going to come in and save the season. I think he could be, I think he can be helpful. I do think he could be that security blanket for Tua. But Tua does not look comfortable in the pocket, and that is a huge issue. Tua's seeing ghosts right now. Tua is seeing ghosts right now. You know, there was the one play where, you know, Tua did that scramble and he ran back like 15 yards in that Bills game before tossing a lame duck pass downfield to get rid of it. The pocket was clean and he left the pocket for no reason. Ran to the sideline, ran up, ran backwards, did all types of craziness. But again, can you blame him? Can you blame him? Because again, this offensive line is a disaster, specifically on the right side. Specifically on the right side. Miller, he missed one season. He missed one season. And listen, I pounded the table to bring X back. So I mean, you know, I don't know if X is completely washed, but a tight end and a corner are two completely different positions. A corner and a tight end are two different positions. A corner's got to put up with some of the best athletes on the field, right? A tight end, if you can run still, you're going to be able to get open. But again, it was a question being asked. There was a question mark on that, Miller. There was a question mark. I wasn't making a statement. I was asking a question. Can Darren Waller help save Tua's season? I think he can help Tua, but I don't think it saves Tua's season. I don't think at this point, the way that Tua's playing, I don't think anything can save Tua's season. Unless Tua somehow gets comfortable again. And, you know, James Daniels should be back in another week. That should help. That should help. Does anybody know how long Austin Jackson's out for? Please make sure you hit them like buttons for me. Help brother out. But the only thing that's really going to truly help this offense is we got to get healthy on the offensive line, and Tua's got to get comfortable in the pocket. He's not playing efficient football like we typically see Tua play pretty efficient football. Does he have the meltdown games? Yeah, he does. Yep, he has the meltdown games where he throws 3 picks and is just a complete disaster. But for the most part, Tua plays pretty efficient football, and we haven't seen Tua do that. Week to week on Austin Jackson. Lombardo, I don't believe that. Listen, I know that the tight end position's looking great, but we had to fix the trenches. And I know Kenneth Grant hasn't been great. I know Jonah hasn't been great. But I still feel like it was the right direction to move in. Drafting a tight end at 13 would have been no different than adding the skill players that we have and forgetting and neglecting the offense and defensive line. At least we drafted players that, I still have high hopes for. I still have high hopes for Kenneth Grant, Jonas Savinaya. I still have high hopes for these guys. And listen, Warren may be way better than Kenneth Grant at his position. You're right. He might be. But what's a good tight end going to do with no offensive or defensive line? It's going to leave us in the position we're already in. Tyreek's a playmaker. But look at what Tyreek's doing with no offensive line. Listen, I don't know if you think that if we would have drafted Tyler Warren, that this offense would just be phenomenal. I think you're mistaken. Would we be better off at this moment? Maybe so, because Kenneth Grant's not playing great. But at the same time, guys, like, what are we talking about? We criticize them for drafting or trading for skill players and neglecting the offensive line, but we're suggesting we should have drafted a tight end at 13. Yeah, we can't get T. Hill the ball because we have no offensive line. We're getting shredded by the other team's running backs because we have no defensive line. And like I said, maybe Kenneth Grant's not the answer. I'm not willing to give up on the kid yet. It's 3 games. Maybe Jonah hasn't been great on the offensive line. He's been horrible, actually. But does that mean we shouldn't have? Maybe we didn't grab the right player, but I definitely think we should have went offense and defensive line over tight end. I mean, Raphael, some of that is true this year. But let's not pretend like on that last interception, Tua didn't have a guy, coming down up on him. Tua had to make a quick decision on that ball because Brunskill completely whiffed on the Bills' defensive tackle. Yeah, Miller Bull Johnson fell to the second round. There was the injury scares. Let's talk about Jonah being the new Eichenberg after holding out for guaranteed money. I hope that doesn't end up being the case, Vonjoy. I hope that don't end up being the case, but man, oh man, Jonah has not been good. I agree, Bonnie. Why do they not move Jonah back to the right side? That's where he's comfortable. Again, I think that's another example of Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer thinking they're smarter than everybody else. That they're going to be able to pull it off, that they know better than everybody else. Oh, Jonah's comfortable on the The left side. No, he's not. No, he's not. He played his whole life on the right side. And you're gonna push him on the left side for what? Stick him over on the right side. Tua did have a guy in his face. So did Herbert. One folded and the other played better than the excuse. Von Joy, again, we compare these quarterbacks, and I don't, lots of times people want to compare Tua and say, well, Patrick Mahomes did this and Tua did this in the same position. I didn't say Tua was Patrick Mahomes. I didn't say Tua was Justin Herbert. He misses. Yeah, he did miss. He does miss Waddle and Tyreek. He does. He does. He does. Tua has a lot of issues. Don't get me wrong. Tua has a lot of issues. I'm not defending Tua Tagovailoa, brother. Don't get it twisted. I'm not defending his play. What I'm saying is, I'm not upset that we went defense and offensive line. I'm not gonna. I think drafting a tight end over offense and defensive line would have been absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. What up, Finn Tate? What up, CB83? We sit there and we talk about trenches, building a football team the right way. We go and we draft players, and maybe they don't turn out to be the right players, but at least we took a swing. Michael, who do we move on from? Michael Lombardo, who do we move on from? It's not possible to move on from Tua right now. I mean, you could bench him. Do you really think Zach Wilson's going to come in and play better football than Tua? Do we really think Quinn Ewers at this moment is going to come in and play better football than Tua? Should you move on from Mike McDaniel? Sure. But honestly, is Mike McDaniel even the biggest issue with this football team? And listen, CB, if the season keeps going in the wrong direction, I think sure at some point let Quinn Ewers go out there and get some play time. See, Irving, why would you make that comment? I'm not, listen. I'm not a hater. I'm not a lover. I try to call it how I see it. Yeah, give Quinn Ewers some more practice time. Give him some more time on, let him get some more practice time. Marcos, what's up? Tua hasn't been bad enough to get benched. If it gets worse, yeah. I mean, week 1, he was really bad. Week 2, he was okay. He did throw the interception at the end of the game. There was a couple plays that running out of bounds on 4th down. I hate that. I hate the running out of bounds on 4th down. That's absolutely a numbskull move, in my opinion. Why would you ever run out of bounds on 4th down? At least throw the freaking football in the air and give someone an opportunity to go up and get it. Give an opportunity for a flag. You never run out of bounds with the football. Never do that on fourth down. Never. Very little, Marcos. Very little. Five touchdowns, 5 turnovers, 3 games is bad. Mike McDaniel can bench running back for fumbles, and Mike McDaniel can't bench quarterback. Finstake was 5 turnovers and 5 touchdowns, 5 turnovers in 3 games is bad. I mean, it's not great. It's not great, obviously. It's not great, obviously. Is it enough to bench him? Is Tua and Mike McDaniel the biggest issues on this football team? I mean, we hear people say fire Tua or fire Mike, bench Tua. Where's the Anthony Weaver hate? Where is the Anthony Weaver hate? Who's more to blame for how this season's going? I thought he showed some good play in Buffalo outside the pick, ran when he needed to make a play, got off platform, made throws. When, to be honest, when he made that run, we were happy he made the run, got the first down, but there was a receiver wide open on that play. I forget who it was. Yeah, quarterbacks typically don't get benched for those numbers. Look what Kirk Cousins did last year. What do you have? 18 interceptions and 4 games or something, 5 games. Defense has been historically bad, and we blame. I mean, Tua deserves some blame, absolutely. This offense deserves some blame. They should be better. But it gets ignored that this defense has been absolutely Chop Robinson, terrible. Chop Robinson's been terrible. Kenneth Grant hasn't been very good this year. Zach Sealer, not very good this year. Bradley Chubb's got 3 sacks, but let's be honest. Those aren't sacks that you're like, damn, he got in there and made a play. No, they were sacks that the quarterback hung on to the ball too long and he eventually got there. Bonnie says, I was just thinking that Weaver is a bigger problem than Mike McDaniel at this point. Yeah, how we go from a top 5 defense last year to the atrocity that we have on the field right now. Coverage sacks. And Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones haven't been that bad. They haven't been great, but they haven't been that bad. I'm more disappointed even in the play of Jordan Brooks so far this year. Zach Sealer, like I said. Bradley Chubb's got 3 sacks, but hasn't looked great. Jalen Phillips still can't get to the quarterback. He gets close, but can't get there. Fitzpatrick hasn't done anything newsworthy. It's because we weren't really top 5 last year. The offense, 3 and outs, sure don't give the defense any breaks. The defense don't give themselves breaks. How many possessions in a row did they give up touchdowns or points? I mean, Miller, at some point, the defense got to take responsibility for themselves. No news is better than bad news. I guess that's true, Marcos. I guess that's true. Make sure you hit that like button for me, please. But if I had to say that there was a area that I was most concerned with, I would say defensively, because I had high hopes for this defense, especially the front seven of it. We went and paid Zach Sealer. I knew that was a mistake. I knew it was. I knew we were giving him a contract for things that he's already done for us, and that's been a problem with this franchise for years. We're going to pay you for what you already did for us, not what is going to take place in the future. In the 2 years that Zach Sealer's had 10 plus sacks, he played next to phenomenal talents. He played next to players that were better than him. He played next to Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins was the better player on this football team. And you guys can all, whoever can say what they want, but Christian Wilkins was the better player of the two. Christian Wilkins allowed him to eat. Last year, Calais Campbell was the better player. Yeah, he didn't play as many snaps because he's old as shit, but Calais Campbell's the better player. It allowed Zach Sealer to eat. Now that Zach Sealer doesn't have that same type of player next to him, he's a ghost. He's a ghost. I don't know if the players are giving up, Michael. They seemed like they were still competing at the end of the game last week. That new deal to Zach Sealer was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Never should have happened. Never should have happened. The issue is they left too many holes on the defense. They left too many holes in general. They left too many holes in general. We left too many holes on this offensive line. We knew we had injury-prone players. Edward probably. He probably is better than a Malafanu. Listen, there's players, as bad as our defense has been, there's players on the open market that could possibly help us. Justin Simmons was on the open market. Stephon Gilmore, open market. Christian Wilkins, is he going to play this year? Have they checked in with him? Have they checked in with Christian Wilkins? Because if Christian Wilkins is going to be available in the next 3-4 weeks, how much sense does it make to bring him in? What up, Shake? What up? What up? Christian Wilkins, if healthy, could help shore up that defensive line. That would allow Zach Sealer to eat again. Wilkins is busy with Diddy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Marcos, that's exactly my point, though. There's players out there available that could help fix some of the Dolphins' issues, yet we're sitting on our hands not making any moves. Not making any moves, not doing anything about it. So who's the most to blame, the offense or the defense? To me, the offense has been bad, not great, but defensively, I feel like the defense is the bigger issue. Now I know that we paid Tua an obscene amount of money. He's not living up to the contract. Obvious. We knew that was going to be the case though. Most of us did. Most of us knew that the contract was a bad idea. I don't think any of us expected him to play as badly as he has. I mean, some Tua haters are going to be like, yeah, I knew he sucked. I knew he was going to be that bad. And this offense struggled against an Indianapolis team that let's keep it real. Indianapolis is better than what we thought they were. Indianapolis is looking like a pretty good team at this point. We scored points on New England. We scored points on the Buffalo Bills. So I still, even though we expected I expected more out this offense. I definitely expected more out the front seven on this defense. And I feel like the defense at this point is the bigger issue. I still feel like this team is the bigger issue. Don't get too cocky, Miller. There's still a lot of season left, baby. There's still a lot of season left. In the way that the Bengals are looking, the way the Steelers are looking, we might have a couple wins at the end of the season that we were counting as losses. Washington Commanders haven't been as good as what we thought they were going to be. Don't get it twisted. We go on a little winning streak right here and get the season back on track. Hopefully these rookies can start, the switch starts getting turned on and these players start playing good. I mean, the Colts are talking about playoffs. They're 3-0 right now. Playoffs. Millie, that's we don't have one. Let's get one win before we start talking about 9 wins. You know what I mean? And CB83 is right. Lots of parity in the NFL right now. Things look wide open. I mean, you got the Chiefs sitting at 1-2. You got the Ravens sitting at 1-2, right? We just seen the Cleveland Browns beat a Green Bay team that people were ready to crown, right? So, I mean, we got the game against the Jets, one game at a time, right? I think the Jets game's winnable. We got Carolina coming up. I think that game's winnable. I think the Chargers coming into Miami is still a winnable game. Yeah, the Chargers are 3-0. They've looked good. But don't take for granted the effect of what traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast has on teams. There's still a good, there's a chance that we can beat the Chiefs. And then who do we got? The Browns. They got a great defense. But I think we can score on the Browns. I think we could score on the Browns. James Daniels should be back. Hopefully Austin Jackson's back for that game. Hopefully we continue to give the ball to Ollie Gordon more. Hopefully we get Darren Waller involved by that time. Hopefully this offense, hopefully Tua can, start playing at least like regular Tua. We got the Browns. We got Saints. We got another game with the Jets. I feel confident that next time we play New England, we can beat New England. We got Buffalo in Miami. We got a bad Cincinnati team. We got a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's not looking great. If we can string some wins together and get these guys' confidence up, maybe we can get back into things. Obviously, history's not on our side. History's not on our side. Teams that start 0-3, they don't make the playoffs. They don't, right? But you never know. Teams don't make no team since 2000 or whatever has started the season 0-3 and made the playoffs until a team does, right? Until a team does. Jade's game isn't winnable. Miller, don't make that's an asinine comment. The Jets are 0-3 with a backup quarterback right now, even though I like him better than what I do Justin Fields. But to say that the Jets game isn't a winnable game when we just took the mighty Buffalo Bills to the limit, come on. That's an asinine comment. Steve Saturday, if the Steelers aren't looking good, what do the Dolphins look like? Listen, the Steelers are supposed to be all-in Super Bowl contenders. That's all I'm saying. If Tua don't, dang, comments are coming now. I mean, are you if you're a Steelers fan, are you happy with what the Steelers are producing right now? If Tua don't get it to him, he can't catch it. Waller can't even save himself. I think, we'll see, right? We'll see. These Dolphins haven't been very good. I'm not sitting here saying Miami's going to make a playoff run, not by any means. But I'm saying the season's still early. Yeah, they're 2-1. They're 2-1. But you maybe should have lost to the Jets. You got your butts kicked by Seattle. Edward, exactly. Waller can be that security blanket that Tua's missing right now. He had a decent game. I wouldn't call it a good game. I wouldn't call it a good game, Vivian. It was an okay game. It was more positive than negative. But he played good. He played good enough to win. Fields will be playing. We just saw Daniel Jones run all over us. You think the track star that is Fields won't run all over? Did Daniel Jones run all over us? I don't know if Daniel Jones ran all over us. We didn't see Josh Allen run all over us. Cook had a very good first half. Second half, we contained them pretty good. What up, JD the Great? What up, my man? He hasn't played in a year. He took 1 year off. And I'm not, listen, if he can run and catch the ball, you know what I mean? It's not rocket science. You don't forget how to run and catch the ball. He's still an athlete. The guy came in phenomenal shape. Casey and Baltimore Sunday, one will be 1-3. The Chiefs are going to be 1-3. I think the Chiefs have a legit shot at missing the playoffs this year, that makes the Buffalo Bills extremely happy. The Dolphins might have more wins than the Cowboys. We'll see. I'm 3-0 on not watching Dolphins games this year. It's like watching the same movie again. It's all fantasy this year. You haven't watched no Dolphins games this year, brother? Maybe that's why we're losing, Raphael. Maybe that's why we're losing. But listen, I think Darren Waller will help. I don't think he's going to save. I don't think he's going to save this football team. Obviously, we need to get healthy on the offensive line. We need Jonah to start picking up his play. We need Kenneth Grant to start picking up his play. Zach Sealer needs to get his head out of his ass. It is what it is. It is what it is. The Miami Dolphins need to get it going. They need to get their minds right. They got to get their confidence going. And I think it can start this week against the Jets. We're wearing the new rivalry gear. You know what I mean? We're breaking out the new jerseys. We're at home, prime time, against a team that isn't very good, right? The Jets aren't very good. Listen, if that's the case, then Josh Allen would have ran, bro. If Josh Allen runs, we get beat by 4. If Josh Allen would have had the opportunities to run, he would have ran. You think he was like, oh, I'm just not going to run this game? Come on. Come on. Jets are solid. They gave the Bucks a run. Listen. They got smashed by the Bills. They played good against Pittsburgh. They played good against the Bucks. We'll see. We'll see. 1-15 was a bad season. I didn't watch. Why watch your team knowing they're going to lose? Maybe that's why we went 1-15. Have some faith. All right, 2023. He missed 2024. That's one. He's going to play in 2025. He missed one season. He missed one season, like I said. Green Bay going to kill the Cowboys with all the injuries on the offensive line. Listen, if the Miami Dolphins don't come to play on this one, if we fall to 0-4, I don't think there's any way that Mike McDaniel doesn't get fired. If we fall to 0-4, there's no way that Steve Ross doesn't make a change, right? He's got to, right? What's funny, Shake, is that Josh Allen didn't really test our secondary like that. He was doing a bunch of dump off passes himself. CB says, I think he keeps it through the season either way. Weaver isn't the guy. Yeah, I don't think Weaver's the guy either. Monday night's game is about selling new merchandise more than winning. To be honest, that's why I didn't buy new. You know, people criticize me at the Buffalo game because I didn't have, I like to wear fresh gear. I had a brand new, the jacket I had on was $150. The pants I had on was $100 and some dollars. My shoes were $300. I could have very easily bought Dolphins gear, but I refuse to give this team any more of my money until they give me a good product. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. It's not about that, CB. It's just I'm not going to give this team no more of my money. I'm not going to. I was looking at the rivalry jerseys. They got the Merino one out now. You know what I mean? I was about to cop it, and I was like, hold up. I refuse to. I refuse to. I'm not giving them any more of my money. Let me get a few stacks. Let me get a few followers. Let me get a few followers. But it is what it is. Listen, I don't think the season's over. 0-3 isn't a, technically, if you go by the numbers, it's a death sentence. But I think there's a lot of football to still be played. And if we can win 9 games and Miller's got to get my logo tattooed, I'll be a very happy camper. But yeah, I'll get into breaking down the Jets tomorrow. We'll start talking about these New York stinking freaking Jets. You know I hate them. If there's one team in this division I can't freaking stand, it's the New York freaking Jets. They just freaking disgust me. Ever since that Monday night miracle years and years ago with Jimbo Elliott catching the ball in the end zone, I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Who finishes second in the AFC East? That's a good question, bro. I don't know. I don't know at this point. I'd like to still say the Dolphins, but I don't know. I mean, the Dolphins and Jets are both 0-3. What are the Patriots? I guess it depends. Like, that's sad. That's sad. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Yeah, Raphael. Loss for them. The Pats aren't making the wild card. No way. Listen, you're not telling me nothing. You're not telling me nothing. I've lived it. I've been a fan for 36 of those, 37, 38 of those 30 years, bro. You're not telling me nothing. But we'll get back on it. We'll start breaking down the Jets tomorrow. Listen, there's a lot of season left to play, but we have a lot of issues on this football team. And hopefully Monday we can pick up our first dub. And we can beat those no good, stinking, rotten piece of crap Jets. You know I hate them. I can't stand them. But it is what it is. You know what it is? Fins up forever, ever, and ever, no matter what. I'm going to rock out with this team till the day I die. And the good, bad, and the ugly, I'm rocking. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. And then you know what it is. Fins up, baby. Peace.
Yo. Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. You know the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse, we the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.